Once they get pulled quite a bit, they come off fairly easy at that point.
Okay. All right. It is, apologies on the late start this morning. We've had a lot of things happening here today. It is April 22nd or 26th, the 2023, and we're going to go ahead and call this meeting to order at 10:10 to be fair. My name is Penny Masheri. I am the Deputy City Administrator here at the City of Smyrna, and I chair the License and Variance Board Committee or Board. To my left, I have Bo Jones, who is our Assistant Director of Water, Sewer, and Utility. And to my right, supposedly. And to my right is Mr. Richard Garland. He is our Director of Parks and Recreation. We have just a few items on our agenda today, just to give you guys kind of an overview of the variance review standards. We tend to go through that before the meeting. Article 14 says in written decisions, the License and Variance Board shall consider the following factors: whether there are unique and special circumstances or extraordinary and exceptional conditions applying to the property in question or to the extended use of the property that do not generally apply to other properties in the same district. 2, whether any alleged hardship is self-created by any person having an interest in the property, nor is the result of mere disregard for or ignorance of provisions from which relief is sought. 3, whether strict application of the relevant provisions of the zoning code would deprive the applicant of reasonable use of the property for which the variance is sought. Or 4, whether the variance proposed is the minimum variance which makes possible the reasonable use of the property. The decision of the License and Variance Board shall be final unless it's appealed to the mayor and council. Any appeal should be done within 10 days of the date of the decision of the board, and that should be made in writing and filed with the city clerk's office. With that, we're going to go ahead and take up item 2A, or I guess we're now 4A. Oh, we've changed our numbering system. Boy, we've done 2A forever, so I apologize. It's 4A now. I'm going to update my notes. V23-029, this is a public hearing and variance request to allow day nursery on a lot with no access to a major or minor thoroughfare, land lot 347, 2380 Ventura Road. Applicant is Brittany Martin. This request is actually is going to be withdrawn at the request of the applicant, and I'd like a motion to do so.
Motion to withdraw variance request V23-029, allow day nursery on a lot with no access to a major or minor thoroughfare, land lot 349 at 2380 Ventura Road.
Second.
This item has been properly moved and seconded. If you would please vote. Okay. By a vote of 3-0, this item will be withdrawn. Okay, item 4B, V23-030, public hearing, variance request, V23-0230, reduce the minimum separation between emission stations from 1,000 feet to 650 feet, land lot 413, 860 Concord Road. Applicant is Jeff Carter. I'm going to let everyone know we received a letter early this morning, and the board has not had a chance to review that. And given that information, we're going to request that we table this item today to allow us time to review it. And then I would recommend that a motion that we table till May 10th.
Motion to table variance request V23-030, reduce the minimum separation between emission stations from 1,000 feet to 650 feet on land lot 413 at 860 Concord Road. Jeff Carter, applicant. Table to May 10th.
Second.
This item has been properly moved and seconded. If you would please vote. Okay. By a vote of 3-0, item 4B will be tabled until 5:10. Okay, item C, V23-031, public hearing variance request to reduce the northern side setback from 15 feet to 5 feet for a dumpster enclosure, land lot 631, 2979 Jungle Drive. Applicant is Anthony Pope. Staff has recommended this item be tabled until 5:10, so May 10th. Can I get a recommendation?
Motion to table V23-031, reduce northern side setback from 15 feet to 5 feet for dumpster enclosure. Land lot 631, located at 2979 Jonquil Drive, Anthony Pope.
Second.
This item has been properly moved and seconded. If you would please vote. Okay. By a vote of 3-0, this item has been tabled. Item D, V23-032, variance request to reduce the landscape buffer from 15 feet to 5 feet in the front of the property on land lot 631, 2979 Junkwell Drive. Applicant is Anthony Pope. This item has also, staff has recommended that it be held and tabled until May 10th. Can I get a motion?
Mayor Richard.
I was.
Motion to table variance request V23-032, reduce landscape buffer from 15 feet to 5 feet in front of the property land lot located 631 and located at 2979 Jonquil Drive, tabled to May 10th. Anthony Pope.
Second.
This item has been properly moved and seconded. If you would please vote. By a vote of 3-0. Item 4D has been tabled. Okay, wow. A lot of tabling today. Item 4E, B23-033. It's a public hearing and variance request to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 45% to 61.5%. Land lot 448, 2656 Parks Edge Drive. Applicant is Ryan Wade. Ms. Crowe, would you please provide us the background?
Good morning, Caitlin Crowe, Planner 1 Community Development. So this variance is B23-033 to increase the maximum impervious surface area from 45% to 61.5%. So this subject parcel is a 0.15 acre lot located right on the west side of Parks Edge Drive, which is in the Parks Edge subdivision. So kind of the backstory to this variance is at the end of October of 2021, code enforcement did issue a notice of violation for working without a permit, which was to create this pool. Once alerted, the applicant did submit for a building permit, and after plan review was subsequently told they needed to get the variance. So kind of come now to 2023, the applicant has now submitted for that variance application with an accompanying mitigation plan. So the subject property is currently occupied by a little over 3,000 square foot home and a 789 square foot swimming pool that are both in the rear of the property. In addition to that pool, the applicant did also place some artificial turf on the property, a little under 240 square feet, which is considered an impervious surface. So after an addition of this pool and that turf, it did increase the impervious area on the lot by a little over 1,000 square feet. This increased the impervious surface area 16.5% over that allowed 45% of the property. It has been, the pool has been in and operational for a little over a year now. So the applicant is proposing to keep it in its current form and location. To offset the increase in this impervious surface area, the applicant will be implementing a bioswale in the rear of the property. The city engineer has reviewed that mitigation plan and is supportive of the plan. Community development believes that this is the minimum variance needed to allow for the applicant to retain this pool in the rear yard. And similar variances have been approved in the past when similar mitigation methods have been implemented. It has been properly posted. And after reviewing the variance application, staff does support the request and has 3 stipulations if recommended approved. The first is our standard stipulation. Approval of the variance is conditioned upon substantial compliance with the mitigation plan included with the variance application. Number 2, a pool permit shall be obtained within 7 business days of variance approval. And number 3, a stormwater inspection and maintenance agreement shall be completed and recorded with Cobb County Superior Court and an as-built certification statement submitted to community development prior to completion of that pool permit. And I can answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Members of the board, do you have any questions for staff?
No.
Okay. Is the applicant here? Awesome. If you would come forward and state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Ryan Wade, 2656 Parks Edge Drive, Smyrna, Georgia, 30080.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us today. Ms. Crowe has provided us a summary of the variance request. Is there anything you would like to add to or amend for the board to consider?
The only thing would be that the pool has actually been operational a little bit longer. It was actually built April of 2020. So we actually signed into the contract the day lockdown went into effect. So obviously it was a unique time, and the contractor told me to take care of HOA and they would handle the rest, and well, I guess they did.
Okay. Members of the board, do you have any questions for the applicant?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay. Ms. Crowe read a series of stipulations. Should we approve variance today? You're aware of those and comfortable with the stipulations?
Can I ask that? Can you tell me the stipulations again? The one about the timing?
7 business days.
Correct, yes. So essentially, yes. And so it does read, a pool permit shall be obtained within 7 business days of variance approval. So really it's just submitting for the application in the system and getting that. You already have the plans. That was the mitigation plan that was submitted. So really we just need you to go ahead and put it in the system. Either you or Sean can take care of that. That way we can get this issued and properly closed out.
Okay. And the pool permit plans, I have not done those before. Is that typically require mechanical, plumbing drawings and all that kind of stuff? Because we might have to go back to your pool vendor.
It does typically show the drainage of it with the piping in the bottom.
It shows the
Go ahead.
details of how the
Yeah.
plumbing and all that work.
Pool vendors still exist?
So they do. I have tried. Originally, when this happened, I called, emailed, and texted them, and I have not heard from them. So I mean, we can attempt to go back and.
Okay, and you said it's been operational for.
It has been, yeah, since I guess May 2020 was the official
Okay.
date.
Go ahead and submit for the application, and I'll get with our chief building official to see if there are any kind of exceptions we can make to that portion of the plan, and then I'll get back with you on whether there is or not.
And stipulation 3, could you
Yes.
do that one again?
Of course. So that one is a stormwater inspection and maintenance agreement shall be completed and recorded with the Cobb County Superior Court and an as-built certification statement submitted to community development prior to completion of the pool permit. So this is for that bioswale that's going to be
Yeah.
installed in
So
the rear.
The pool's there,
Mhm.
that's one aspect of it, but with that is the bioretention area.
Mhm.
Right.
So we want to inspect that bioretention area, do the excavation inspection, and then as it's going in, you guys get your engineer to certify that it was built to plan.
Yeah. So timing, it says, but your comment says before, prior to the completion of the pool permit.
Correct.
So that was the thing that was just throwing me, because our biggest challenge will basically just be trying to get some of this really, really small
Well,
job.
The whole thing is the permit. So once you finish your stormwater,
Okay.
then you'll get your certificate of
Yeah,
completion.
the 7 days, just to clarify, the 7 days,
Written
just, yes, to actually get issued. So, and then you'll have the typical 6-month period for the actual.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. With that, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone here who'd like to speak in favor or against, please step forward. Let the record reflect that there's no one in attendance today, with the exception of the applicant and staff. Not having a public hearing, or we've had it, but there's no one here to speak. With that, I will entertain a motion from the board.
Motion to approve variance request V23-033, increase the maximum impervious surface area from 45% to 61.5% on land lot 448 at 2656 Parks Edge Drive. Ryan Wade, applicant.
Second.
This item has been properly moved and seconded. If you would please vote. Okay, item 4E has been approved by a vote of 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Our final item on the agenda today is item 5A. This is approval of the minutes. That's MIN 2023-039. Approval of the April 12th, 2023 License and Variance Board meeting minutes. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
This item has been properly moved and seconded. If you would please vote. Okay, and by a vote of 3-0, item 5A has been approved. Unless there is any other business brought before this body, we will consider ourselves adjourned at 10:23.
I was deliberating whether I want.
Need that.
I wasn't gonna do it. I ain't gonna do it again, not this week. Got too much going on.